I would like to introduce Doug Gaines. He's the Vice President of Sales for HPFi. Doug also wanted me to mention that he and/or Ken Reed, who is HPFi's sales manager, is open to scheduling a lunch and learn with any of the dealerships in person. And if you guys are interested in that, please reach out to either Doug, Ken, or myself, and we can get you guys on the schedule. So it's all yours, Doug.
Okay, thank you. And good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon. What I want to accomplish today is just give you a general overview of some of our key collaborative products. In the past 36 months, HPFi has experienced a tremendous amount of growth in this category. And during the connection session down in Florida, I had an opportunity to speak to many of you about some of the products that HPFi has to offer in this sector. So we'll go through that, have some dialogue as it relates to what differentiates HPFi from some of our competitive products, and then after that I'll answer any questions and hopefully get an opportunity to see you face-to-face with more of a lunch and learn opportunity. Next slide.
Hey, Doug, before we move on, you're a little bit hard to hear, so I just wanted to let you know that.
Okay, let me do something here for a second.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Okay. Basically, from a portfolio overview perspective, hit the next change for me. What you're going to find with the HPFi product category is that it's a high-end commercial-grade product from an offering standpoint. There are many manufacturers that build soft seating, but very few can stand behind the quality associated with a commercial grade. And this is something that we do here in High Point. So everything's American-made, and the quality level is at its highest level based on our commitment to making sure that details are in line so that the product can last over time. Next. However, what makes this combination of a high-end commercial-grade offering unique is that everything's at a mid-market price point. So now you have a unique combination from HPFi where you can be competitive price-wise, but be comfortable with the fact that you're going to have a superior level of quality. This allows you to compete with other mid-market manufacturers and be in line price-wise, but be very superior from a quality perspective. And it also allows you to go up market and compete with the big guys to where you're going to have a similar level or higher level of quality, but you're still going to be extremely competitive price-wise. So very few manufacturers will be able to offer you that. Next. Flexibility with customers' requests. This is something that you're not going to see on the website. You're not going to find in a price list. But because of our Versity production platform, we're one of few manufacturers that will entertain adaptations. And I use the term adaptations because as long as the engineering platform is consistent with our product, then we can make adjustments to the product to adapt it to fit the profile that your clients are looking for. And as I go through some of these slides, I'm going to show you examples of how we've introduced what we call design scale, and that scale allows the product to evolve in a multitude of directions. For example, the Eve collection. This is our #1 selling soft seating. And what's unique about the Eve is that you can address a multitude of different options, serpentines. Here in this particular slide, you see an example of the Eve club chair. That club chair is very versatile. It can either be with arms or without arms. And anywhere you have a flat surface on our soft seating, you can put power into them. The profile of the Eve series, most popular is the metal profile legs, but you can also do a wood profile if you choose to do so. Next. Eve banquette. Now here's an example of where I was referring to adaptations. Here we're showing a 60-degree curved banquette with a beautiful shelf on the back. This product was introduced 2 years ago specifically based on a customer's request. One of the challenges that we were concerned about and moving from a flat back banquette to a banquette with a shelf is tipping. So what we decided to do was to create the 60-degree curve to allow us to be able to add a shelf on the back, but have continuity as far as aesthetics were concerned. And if you look in the backdrop of that slide, you will see the same Eve club chair, but the variation there has that chair with a swivel base versus the 4 legs. And in front of the banquette, we're showing the same swivel club chair without arms. Now, what's unique about that application is that was specifically designed for an institution in the Northeast, where after awarded the project to HPFi, the designer contacted me and wanted to know that we have a swivel club chair. Well, at that point, we didn't have anything in the price list, but she followed up on my statement that if you don't see it, don't assume we can't do it. And basically what we were able to do was to take the Eve club chair and convert it into an application of a swivel club chair to meet her requirements. And her requirements was kind of unique. She wanted the chair to be able to have a rotating base that had an automatic return. Well, HPFi is one of 2 manufacturers that still build jewelry-based seating. So we converted the standard 4-legged Eve club chair to a swivel base using a jewelry-based mechanism. So when you sit in the chair, you can turn in different directions, but it automatically returns back to its original position. Keeping in mind, as I stated earlier, wherever you see a flat surface on any of our pieces, you can put power in there. Next slide. Another unique design extension associated with the Eve product is the Evette, which is specifically for kids. So for pediatric applications or schools, elementary schools, we have soft seating that can fit those particular sectors and still have the profile be consistent with what we do with the adult version of Eve. Next. Company series. The difference primarily between a company and Eve, a company addresses a lot of your circular applications. You have a more of a flat seat associated with the Eve profile compared to the company would have more of a contour seat. What's nice about both is that the seating for both are reinforced with support, which allows the units to spring back once the users that are occupying the seat moves, so you never have to worry about the unit bottoming out. What's unique about this particular application here is the ottoman table. That is something that we developed specifically for a designer within 45 days, in which he wanted to do this vignette, but didn't want to use a wooden table or a regular glass table. So we created the ottoman table. You could put power in the center of that unit if you choose to do so. We've extended the options available on that series to where you can do a beautiful tufted top if you want to do that. And you can also add legs that are wooden profile versus the metal profile. One thing that I will say to you is that we're still one of the few manufacturers that still offers tufted profiles. So if there's pieces that you want to do a tufted look, particularly when you're looking at Chesterfield, more of a traditional look, we can have those available to you, either tufted or non-tufted. Next slide. Here's an example of the Eve club chair and 3-position sofa. What makes this application unique is that not only are you seeing 2 of the club chairs up front with a 3-position sofa, but if you look in the backdrop, you see how we can do a gain seating profile if you decide to go that route with this particular series. Once again, you can put power in the front profile if you choose to go that direction. Next slide. This collaborative solutions, this is probably the fastest growing sector, and this is where we truly bring value and a high level of relevance to you as dealer partners. Very few manufacturers are going to be able to offer you, as I stated earlier, a commercial grade solution that's all American made, built at a mid-market price point. In this particular profile here, we're showing our recent introduction of our K and D arm banquette Oasis 2-position and 3-position sofas. In the backdrop, you see the tiered seating that's been very popular from the industry standpoint. Not only are we seeing applications that are addressing touchdown areas, but we're seeing applications for conference rooms. We even did an application at Texas A&M University where they utilized the tier seating for a rec center and asked if we would put a cubby storage to allow the students to accommodate their backpacks and book bags when they come in to work out. So that sort of versatility really has vowed very well for us in the marketplace as far as our flexibility and our willingness to do adaptations. Next slide. Now, when you start to look at tier seating, what you're going to find from HPFi is that we're going to have the most versatile depth of offerings. We're the only manufacturer that would do a 2-position, 3-position front, that would do wedges similar to the back left to allow you to create an amper type setting. But we also offer a full wood profile. And so you literally could build a spec around HPFi tier seating that no other manufacturer could meet. Next slide, please. Here's an example to the left of the full wood profile in which we introduced at this year's NeoCon. We've had a lot of positive feedback associated with that particular product series. And to the right is an example of a flex tier wall, where not only can you do the tier seating, but you can put a wall on the back to allow for additional seating positions and utilizing the products. And that particular product on the right side was developed specifically based on a customer request. And I can't emphasize enough where if you have a level of content from a manufacturer that's willing to listen to what your true needs are and to be willing to adapt their product platform to specifically address your customer's requests, that gives you a unique level of flexibility within the marketplace. And that is something that if you're interested in having us come out to do the product presentations via lunch and learns or during breakfast, we will show you more in detail examples of how the complete portfolio is based on customers' requests and not specifically just what we think the marketplace wants. Next slide, please. Flex Lounge is an extension of the Flex series. I spoke earlier about design scale. Here's another example of that where we're able to introduce products that lend itself to work together. In this slide, you're seeing in the back right the Flex tier seating, and in the front there's the Flex Lounge. What I love about the Flex Lounge is that the product profile is specifically designed for individual movement. I'm one of those individuals to where I enjoy sitting in a position where I can fold my leg or put my arms on the back of a unit that I'm sitting in. And what the Flex Lounge allows you to do is to have a non-formal setting where if you need to have a touchdown meeting, you can do it in groups or one-on-one. Wherever you see the flat surfaces, once again, if you want us to entertain putting power in there, we can do that. But a lot of beautiful profiles if you go to our website that you will find with the Flex Lounge series itself. Next slide. Here's some additional profiles of the Flex Lounge. Now, one component that I want you to keep in mind is that we have a program called the Now program. And within that series, there's over 1,100 fabrics that are available that you can get our upholstery pieces within 15 days. So if you're working on an opportunity and your customer needs a quick turnaround, we definitely want to be your partner in that particular venture. And typically, we can get product to you within 15 days if you select from those 1,100 fabrics that's part of our Now series. And it's all the major suppliers from C.F. Benson to Momentum. Next slide. Basically, that was a very quick, condensed overview of the HPFi portfolio. As I said earlier, I would like to extend an offer to have either myself, or Ken Reed, my sales manager, visit your facility. We'd love to come in and do a lunch and learn or a breakfast presentation where we'll go more in detail with the product applications. And so if there's any questions, I'd like to open it up.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you the questions that we have, and then if there are any extra that we don't have time for, we'll get back to you via email, but I'm going to ask these first. So for Doug first, what is your showroom program for soft seating, if they want to use it in the lobby of their dealership or just put it on their floor?
We have a sample program, which is at 50 and 40.
Okay. Who are your biggest clients? Is it just commercial, or are you doing a lot of school business?
Education has probably been our fastest growing sector recently, but we do a lot of business with the federal government. State contracts is a major component of what we do. What seems to be trending more often for us recently is that as collaboration comes across the board, we're seeing a very unique variety of sectors that we're getting involved with.